y'all, welcome back to our channel. Today we're going to start talking about something brand new in math. I know I was telling you all throughout the year that, we'll get to algebra towards the end. We'll get to algebra towards the end. Well, here we are. We're starting our algebra unit, which I know some of you are excited about and some of you are a little nervous about, but don't worry because I promise we're going to get through it together. Today we are going to start the first step of algebra, and that is learning about the order of operations. Now, I'm not going to lie to you, the order of operations can be a little tricky, so I need you to be 100% on board, listening to the videos, working as hard as you can on your independent assignments, because think about it. I'm taking my responsibility of teaching and giving it to you. So you have to stay on board. That way we can get you ready for 6th grade next year. So let's go.
Okay, let's go ahead and get started with the order of operations. If you look at this slide, you might see some really weird letters that probably don't make too much sense to you. But if you've watched the vocabulary video that I assigned about the order of operations, you probably already know what PEMDAS is. And yes, I am saying PEMDAS, P-E-M-D-A-S, and it's an acronym. And an acronym is something that stands for something else. Well, PEMDAS is going to help guide us through the order of operations. So let's get started. Alright, before we can do anything with algebra, PEMDAS, order of operations, any of that stuff, you have to know some basic information. The first off word that you have to know is what an expression is. An expression is a combination of numbers and symbols and operations that show a certain value. 4 plus 3 is an expression. An expression is basically just a math problem, and we're going to be using the order of operations to help us simplify expressions. The next word that you have to know is an operation, and I guarantee you already know this word. An operation is a process in which a number is changed by adding, subtracting, dividing, or multiplying. And all of those red operation symbols are what helps us get through the operation. Minus, plus, divide, times. Easy. Okay, here you see this PEMDAS thing again, and I want to help explain a little bit of what PEMDAS is. So, another way we can remember PEMDAS is the acronym, Please Excuse My Dear Aunt Sally. And I know that sounds kind of lame and weird, but believe me, it will help you figure out the order of operations if you just remember Aunt Sally. So, P for please, E for excuse, M for my, D for dear, and A for aunt, and S for Sally. And you might be wondering what these letters stand for in the first place. Well, P stands for parentheses, E stands for exponents, and I know you don't know what that is, but for us in 5th grade, we don't have to know it, so don't even worry about it. M stands for multiply, D stands for divide, A stands for add, and S stands for subtract. All of those basic operations that you know. PEMDAS, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Okay, order of operations. Just to restate what I've said in the past few slides, and the order of operations is a rule that tells you the sequence, we should know that word, the sequence or order to follow when you are performing operations in a mathematical expression. So basically, the order of operations tells us how we have to solve math problems. So the first step is P for parentheses. The second step is E for exponents. The third step, kind of 2 steps in one. You either multiply or you divide, depending on which step comes first from left to right. And then the fourth step is adding or subtracting. And again, it depends on which comes first when you look at the problem from left to right. And if you look right there at the bottom, you do P first, parentheses, then you do E, then do M or D, depending left to right, and lastly do A or S, depending on left to right. PEMDAS, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally.
Operations in a formation expressed on a line. They need a transformation. These numbers just need to be simplified. Order of operations, the calculations that work every time in any situation. These operations are always on your side. Work inside the brackets first.
Now, you might be hearing the word bracket and be kind of confused. Just know that the word bracket is the same as the word parentheses.
Multiply and divide left to right. Add and subtract left to right. Now your expression is simplified. Work inside the brackets first. Multiply and divide left to right. Add and subtract left to right. Now your expression is simplified. Work inside the brackets first. Multiply and divide left to right. Add and subtract left to right. Now your expression is simplified. Work inside the brackets first. Multiply and divide left to right. Add and subtract left to right. Now your expression is simplified. Work inside the brackets first. Multiply and divide left to right. Add and subtract left to right. Now your expression is simplified. Numbers and operations in a formation expressed on a line. They need a transformation. These numbers just need to be simplified.
Okay. Okay, so we're actually going to walk through one together before I give you any more information. So if you look at this, we have PEMDAS written over here on the left side. Of course, parentheses, then exponents, then multiplying, dividing from left to right, and then adding, subtracting from left to right. Notice I'm saying left to right based on whichever one comes first. So let's talk about this, okay? We have 50 minus 5 times parentheses 27 divided by 3. Well, if we look at our order that we have to go in, of course we have to go parentheses first, exponents second. Remember, you don't have to know exponents in 5th grade, so we can just kind of forget about that. Then multiplying and dividing will be the 3rd thing we look for, and adding and subtracting will be the 4th thing we look for. So, first off, we need to go through each step and ask ourselves, are these things here? So, let's see, is the first step here, parentheses? Well, yep, here they are. 27 divided by 3. So I'm going to start with my first step, which is the parentheses. 27 divided by 3. And we all know 27 divided by 3 is 9. So, I'm going to write our 9 down here. Now notice, you might be thinking, why in the world does Miss Monas have this giant triangle drawn? Well, every single time, and I suggest you do the same thing, every single time I simplify an expression using PEMDAS, I make myself a triangle, and that reminds me that as I'm working my way down, my answer is going to get smaller and smaller, and you'll see what I mean in just a second. So, 27 divided by 3 is 9. That means we did our parentheses. That is finished. And now I'm going to bring down the rest of my information. Just bring it straight down. So we had 50 still. And we have minus 5 still. And we have times still. But notice that I simplified 27 divided by 3. I simplified it to 9. So now we have 50 minus 5 times 9. Alright. Well, our next step is multiplying or dividing. So, do we see any multiplication or division? Well, I see right here a multiplication sign. 5 times 9. What is 5 times 9? I hope you said 45. So, we're going to put that down. 45. And then I'm going to bring down the stuff I haven't used yet. So 50 minus 45 equals, okay, we did our multiplying and dividing. Let's mark that out. Now our last step, step 4, adding and subtracting. Well, lucky for us, the last thing we have to do is subtraction. So 50 minus 45, of course that is 5. And that is our final answer. So 50 minus 5 times parentheses 27 divided by 3 equals 5. Now you should be able to see that once I went through each one of these steps here, my expression got smaller and smaller each time. And that way this triangle reminds me that I need to work my way down each time and make it smaller.
Check. So take a look at the 4 problems on your screen. You'll see addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and even parentheses. Order of operations problems can have exponents as well, so we have a lot of different things mixed within one problem. So we need a set of rules or instructions to go through these problems correctly. We have an acronym that helps us with these steps, and it's at the top of your screen. PEMDAS, parentheses, exponents, multiply, divide, add, and subtract. And there's also a graphic on the left side of your screen that will help us with these steps. So parentheses is up top. That's number 1 priority. Whenever you see it in a problem, that comes first. And then we work our way down that chart. Exponents is second priority, level 3 is multiply and divide, and then we have add and subtract. So let's hop into number 1. We have 9 plus 11 minus 4 in parentheses. So how you go about doing these problems is we take a look at our chart over here, and we have parentheses up top. That means it's number 1 priority. If you see parentheses in a math problem, that's what you do first. So let's do 11 minus 4. first for number 1. 11 minus 4 is 7. And now we need to bring down everything we did not use. So we did not use the plus, the addition, and we did not use the 9. Now we only have one operation left, so that's what we have to do. So let's end with 9 plus 7, which is 16, and that is the answer to number 1. Number 2, we have a 3 right next to a parenthesis, and then 7 minus 2 within those parentheses. So anytime you have a number right next to the parentheses, that means multiply. So I'm going to rewrite the problem with a multiplication sign in there. So again, anytime you see a number right next to parentheses, it is multiplication. Alright, so let's go through our steps. Step 1, parentheses. Do we have any in this problem? Yes, so that's what we need to do first. 7 minus 2 is 5. And then let's bring down everything we didn't use, the multiply and the 3. So we end with 3 times 5, which is 15. So there you have it. There's number 1 and number 2. So let's hop over to 3 and 4. These get a little more complex and have more steps to them than numbers 1 and 2. Now it's important with 3 and 4 and the more complex type of problems to do one step at a time and make sure you're going through your process. So number 3, let's go through our steps. Any parentheses? Yes, so that's what we need to do first. 17 minus 6 is 11. Let's bring down everything we did not use. So now we have multiplication and addition. So let's go through our steps. Any parentheses now? No. Any exponents? No. Any multiplication or division? Yes. So that's what we need to do next. So 3 times 5 is 15. Drop whatever we haven't used yet. So we have 15 plus 11, which will get us to 26. So number 4, we have 12 minus 10 divided by 2 plus 16 minus 9 in parentheses. So parentheses we need to do first. 16 minus 9 is 7. Now we need to bring down everything that was not used. So now we have subtraction, division, and addition. So any parentheses? No. Any exponents? No. Any multiplication or division? Yes. So that's what comes next. 10 divided by 2 is 5. Bring down everything we did not use. Everything still needs to stay in the same order when you're rewriting the problem after you're going through your steps. So the 12 minus 5 plus 7 has to stay like that. So we have subtraction and addition left. So any parentheses? No. Exponents? No. Multiplication or division? No. Addition or subtraction? Yes. Now addition and subtraction are both down here on level 4. Subtraction and addition both hold the same value, you can think of it as. So one is not more important than the other. So if you get to a point where you have addition and subtraction, you go left to right. Addition is not more important or comes before subtraction. Again, they're both level 4 down, so you just go left to right when you run into both in the same problem. So you would do 12 minus 5 first. 12 minus 5 is 7. Bring down your addition and the 7. So we get to 7 plus 7, which is 14. So there you have it. There's a little intro to order of operations and the steps / process on which we go through these types of problems.
So on those last few slides, I hope you found that first song really catchy. I love that song. It breaks it down so simply and so wonderfully, and I hope you listen to it over and over again because it'll really help you get the process stuck down in your head. And then after the song, I decided to go through a few problems, or just one problem with you. And please, please remember that triangle that I made to help me understand that my expression is getting smaller and smaller each time it simplifies. Just like the point on a triangle gets smaller, my expression will get smaller too, up until the final answer at the very bottom. And then lastly, he went through 4 different problems with you, and I hope that helped you get your gears going in your brain a little bit better as to how the order of operations works. And then this slide, I'm so sad that I don't get to wear this shirt this year, and I just want you to know that I do have it, but I thought it would be just as good if I put it on here. Again, it has "please excuse my dear Aunt Sally." Well, please has parentheses, E has an exponent, the tiny little e, my has an X for multiplying, dear has a division symbol in the E, aunt, the letter T is the plus sign, and Sally has a minus sign in the A. So just know I'm wearing this shirt as we speak. So I'm going to post you an assignment on Teams and on Clever. I want you to work through it the best you possibly can. I would come back to this video many, many times and use it to help you do the assignment. If you have any questions, please, please message me on Class Dojo or on Teams, or email me or call me. Any way I can help you, I will, because I know it can be kind of tricky, but we're going to get through it together. Do not worry.